All right. So do you want to know the secret sauce behind what a Medspa that's generating over $5 million a year in revenue does that she wishes she would have started doing years ago, that she really truly believes massively grew her business? And she still continues to do this to this day. And she always gets some nuggets, always gets something to optimize, to improve, to level up her med spa that either gives her back time, makes a better experience or result for patients, and of course, makes her more revenue. So if that sounds appealing and interested to you, then you don't want to miss today's live interview with Mayte Nowak, owner of Nowak Aesthetics in San Diego, California. Hi, Mayte.
Hi, how are you, everybody? I'm excited to be here, and if you guys have questions, I'm definitely very, very excited about sharing what I started to do in years ago about mystery shopping other practices, and I used to try to go to the best ones, right? And I think that really have helped me to put in perspective, because we live in this little bubble, and we know what we do best, and we know what we can compare ourselves, what we did last year, last week, last month, but you really don't know and compare with the rest of the world, like, do I really do good in one thing or the other? And then I think mystery shopping, every time I go to a conference, let's say I go to Nashville, Tennessee for a conference, and then I had the opportunity to stay a couple more days. I schedule an appointment for cold sculpting, fillers, anything in one, and then I have a facial in another one, and then I have just maybe walk in and see how they take care of me. They're willing to welcome me even if I don't have an appointment. There are little different things that I do that has really helped me a lot to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Because you learn from the three things. You're really looking for pearls, and you can find them easily. And then you can also look for things that you wouldn't like to do. And you also are checking, since you call and the phone call, how they treat you, since the email that you send for an inquiry, since the first text that you get back, since the forms that they get you in the portal, how hard they are, or make people frustrated about filling all these forms, since the calling back to remind you, what's the cancellation fee? Did they tell you, yeah, it's a cancellation fee, but I don't collect the credit card? It's like, or like how to explain the cancellation fee, how they credential their providers. I go to very different type of med spas, which are doctors, that are not doctors, that they're just maybe estheticians doing treatments. You go to Texas, or you go to another states, there are very different things to do, like in California, that we have a lot of restrictions. So I normally ask, and you learn a lot about that, but you also learn a lot about they see you as a patient, right? So this last one that I went with one of my coworkers, and I was playing the role of the mom, and she was the bride. And it's important to see those things, as how many times you have the mother and the daughter, the friend and the friend. And this last opportunity, they didn't try to offer me. I'm also the mother of the groom, right? So I should be a special day for me. Why I cannot be that patient? So little things like that I normally try to see, and then I collect all that information, I recap, and I present it in one of our meetings. So I say, okay, this is what I found that it really blew my mind, and we should do it. This is what I found that we should not do it. And then also, if I have an opportunity to meet office manager to an office manager, that's also great, because then the conversation is different. We share best practices and the way of equipment, and the way of, I don't know, we're talking about financing companies, like who's better financial, I don't know, credit, or what do you do with this? Or if you happen to share your same practice manager, what are the best reports? How do you find retention? How do you find the KPIs, right? Your new patient retention, your established patient retention, what is your productivity? How do you discuss productivity with your providers? How do you work with the staff retention? What do you do to make them happy, to keep them here, to get them engaged? What do you do for social media? What do you do for marketing? So there's a lot of things that you can talk to someone about, what, because we have the same problem. We have the same challenges. Every day is the
So
same.
Mayte, sorry, when do you let the cat out of the bag? Right. So I understand, like, beforehand, you're calling them, right? You're going through social media, you're trying their online scheduling system, just like a normal patient does, and to experience that. And you truly go in and experience that. But when that you let the cat out of the bag, or that you then connect with that business owner or the provider?
Well, the way I do how to find where to go first, I talk to my reps, and my reps normally know where the ones more successful, right? I mean, the ones that buy the most, the ones that sell the most. So
Yeah.
I try to get people that have contact with Allergan or MERS. So that means that I understand how much they are buying, so I understand how much they are selling, right? It
Yes.
has to be a practice kind of more aligned with me, because if we have the same requirements to buy, then we most likely be selling what we need to buy. So I talk to them, and they give me an amount of ones. Sometimes they are the ones who are setting up for me those office manager to office manager, but in a way to pay them back the favor, I mystery shopping them, and then I tell them my results if they want to, right? Because there are people that are not open, and there are people that are open. So I mentioned a little bit if they want to. I mean, I can do it, as you know, it's not a problem. But I normally try to do that. Even going into a med spa just to buy a product and sit in the waiting room or reception area, and then how the girls approaches you, it's mind blowing sometimes. Just with that, and just say, you know what, I'm here. I'm in a business trip, and I don't even live here, but I just happen to, you know, and then you have, I mean, I heard about co-sculpting. Do you need, you know, can I get into a consultation? I mean, I have done that, and they get me in.
Yeah.
So, and then I have done that, and they say, oh no, absolutely no. You know, it's like, we're fully booked, we don't have nobody that can help. I mean, there's just different approaches, and how do you say it, and how do you make the patient feel, right? And I try to put myself in the patient feel. Like I said, I recap everything, and that has given us a lot of opportunity. First, for me to create a group of people that I can feel comfortable and trust, and sharing ideas, asking them questions. You know, office manager to office manager. I mean, I go sometimes and I say, hey, can I have your job description for an office, you know, for this thing? And then I get it, right? And then they know that I'm going to get something back. Okay, this is my revenue. This is what I'm a practice that brings this amount of revenue. My percentage of injectables is this. This is how my retail sales and compare with what I sell for my services. And I'm struggling a little bit with this, and I really want to grow this. Can you give me a pearl? And then they ask me the same. And I think that's really, really have taken our business to the next level, because I do it with my girls too. And every time I take one of my girls, I get the most beautiful cards of gratefulness about why did I take and pay the airplane ticket, the hotel, because obviously we go to a great dinners, right? And great time also after that. And it's just like, just getting out of your bubble, getting out of your comfort zone, and just putting yourself in a situation of like, let's look what's best out there, and let's try to mimic. I mean, somebody already is doing it. You just need to go find it.
Yeah.
And hopefully recreate
What
it.
I love so much about what you shared, I want to break down this a little bit, because I think that there's a lot of med spa owners and practice managers out there that, you know, collaborate or may have community with other med spas in different markets, maybe same market or around the country. But I love how you took it one step further, and you do the secret shopper experience, because and I do this for our clients. Our clients pay us a lot of money to do the secret shopper experience, exactly what you're talking about, because you don't know what you don't know about your own med spa, because you're in it every single day. So if you were to just call someone to collaborate and shoot ideas off of one another, they're going to tell you, well, this is
How
how
wonderful.
we do it. This is how I think we do it. But when you experience, it's always different. And just like you said, good, bad, and different. So then for you to experience it yourself and invest that time and energy, huge pearls that come from it. Just like you said, sometimes you learn, I don't want to do that. I love that. And everything in between. And then when you disarm someone and, you know, give them value, buy something from them, then they're much more open to giving you their secret sauce. Is really the big takeaways that I'm hearing you do that I
Absolutely.
haven't heard other practice owners that
Yeah,
share that
absolutely helps me.
their
And to
community.
tell you the truth, applies immediately to my KPIs. My KPIs immediately start improving just by sharing this with the group, right? Because again,
Yeah.
you can learn a lot about, I mean, you can go to the conferences and listen to a lot of speakers, but you know, you gotta go where they grinding every day. We're doing it every day. A lot of times you go and see and watch the speakers talk about it, and they barely are really in practices. You know, they're speaking all the time, they're teaching all the time, or they did it 20 years ago and now it's another world. Okay, or 10 years ago, or
Yeah.
whatever. And now it's another world, but we're here every day dealing with patients, with providers, with the staff, with everybody, with whatever the world comes to, with COVID, with this, you know. And then really, how can you go above and beyond to make a difference to the patient, to their, I mean, obviously you can tell when the patient experience is great, the teamwork, and it's absolutely, it's a reflection of. So the teamwork is really working well. They're communicating with each other. They're backing one in each other. You can immediately tell, even when you get into a reception area, you know, the vibration, the
Yeah.
office, you know, is it chaotic, or they're like trying to look and back for something that they don't find. You know, it's just so many different levels of things. I try to do a really good recap, and I try to take pictures. If I can take, I do videos. I do everything so I can bring that experience to my staff. And every time I
Yeah.
do it, I always try to take someone, because it's not the same if you actually leave it, right? Mhm.
Yeah, guys, if you are watching, I want to see in the comments, if I want to know, have you ever done a secret shopper experience with another med spa? I want to see in the comments if you've ever done a secret shopper experience with another med spa, and get in another market, not your market, but in another market. And I want to know, Mayte, over the years, if you could highlight some of, and I'm sure with as many times as you've done this, there's so many pearls, right, that you've
Yeah,
taken
it's interesting
away.
what I see.
What is the
Yes,
biggest
prior
ones?
to opening. Yes, prior to opening. I don't know how many people I've been seeing here that they're prior to opening in my practice. You know, suddenly this PA who used to come, or this person, now it just open another practice. We know who's actually mystery shopping sometimes physically, but this is at the beginning when they start in a new practice. And I think when you mystery shop, when you have a lot of experience and you already know, it's kind of like a saying, I don't know if anybody has read the book, you know, it's like you don't see the broken windows anymore, you know, because
Yes.
there are broken windows and then you just don't see it anymore, because you just come and grind and then go back to home and then work and, you know, that type of thing. But I noticed, like, this time I just did it last week, and then, I mean, the way the chairs look, how dirty is the office, is the windows already clean, the mirrors, I mean, has those details as that, you know. And then, and I've been in this office since 2007. So, and I keep learning so much every time I go.
I love that so much. And so, when you set up your secret shopper experience, take that next extra step. I think a lot of times people think, oh, I need to keep it a secret, right? Especially, I understand if it's your competition, that can be uncomfortable, but this is even more beneficial outside of your market, right? Because you don't want to be like everyone else. You want to be better than everyone else in
Yeah.
your market. And you can learn from those other stars and those markets and come back and implement into yours. And so take the extra steps not just to secret shop, but then to collaborate with them and share, again, if they're open to it, what you learned from that experience. And again, if they're open to it, what knowledge you can share with them about what you saw with your own two eyes. Because I know, wouldn't you love that, Mayte, if someone came to your practice?
I will love that. I would love that. And I would love any feedback, because if I do something wrong, I want to be able to fix it. Yeah, we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? But definitely, I would definitely love that. And I try to do that. I've been in, I don't know, when I'm at a conference and I suddenly find someone from this office, I'm like, you know what? I did mystery shop, but I didn't really. And they get all the, but everything was great. And one of the reasons that I mystery shop, because you're one of the best to begin with. You know, so everything is pretty much positive, because for me being there is because they're already one of the best. So that's actually already a compliment, right? I'm going to take all my time to try to follow you, to try to go and see what you do, because I heard you're one of the best. So, you know, there's always something good, positive that you can get back. And every time that's how I open doors from other places to kind of help me also, or be more prepared, because I come offering you something, not just asking for something. This is what I saw. I think you excel in this. And, you know, I don't talk in the negative. They don't open that conversation. I don't say anything like that, obviously, as a respect. And then, but then they kind of like lower the guard a little bit. And then they just start like by default sharing everything. And it just becomes like sometimes even a great friendship.
Yes, I love that so much. People want to mystery shop Nowak aesthetics now. Watch out, Mayte. So another thing that I think has really helped you grow your business over the years, that you and I have talked about in the past, right? As you're going from 1 million to 2.5 to 3 to 5 million. It wasn't that like you just have this team of 5 to 10 providers, right? You wanted people to work smarter, not harder. How is it that you have 3 providers that's capable of generating $5 million? What is it that you have provided for them to be able to do that kind of volume with just 3 providers?
Well, first of all, you have to create a system that helps them upsell, right? And something that it makes it easier. You have to provide enough human power to make themselves more productive. And then also you have to create systems like memberships, right? Memberships is very important, because anything that you can do for them to create loyalty, everything. If we all have memberships, right? We pay Netflix, Spotify. We can keep going. If you see your credit card is like how many memberships you have that you won't let go, period, right? So that's creating loyalty. Or maybe when the Pandora started it and everybody let go of Pandora to go to Spotify, whatever it is what it is, right? Everybody has their followers, and then we do. So when you create loyalty, you create retention, and retention for your providers and more engagement. They don't have to fight too much for the next appointment. It's already paid, it's pre-booked, it's happening, we're just planning. I see you in 3 months, done, right? Then also packages that they create to be able to speak about the outcome, right? It's not about selling a syringe, it's about selling the outcome. And how do you sell outcomes? With treatments and combinations and packages that are already made for pretty much everybody, because we all need a combination of treatments that it will accommodate. And also talking about financing, because you have to not sell a $10,000 or $5,000 procedure. You sell a $200 a month procedure, and it's more doable. It's easy to understand, and then do it in a very polite and professional way without making the patient feel that, oh, I think you need credit, financing because you may not afford it. No, it's like we talk about that, as a promotion. So guess what? This is what we're running this month. It's a promotion where we offering, because Dr. Nowak decided that he wanted to do that for their clients, and it's going to be a 12-month same as cash. So it's not that you need financing, you need to make a bond. It's just like a given. Like, when you buy a car, you don't buy a $100,000 car or a $50,000 car. You buy a $600 a month car, And then there's certain numbers in our industry that when you go above and beyond, it's a little bit more complicated. I believe in the 199, 299, 399. When you get to 499, 599, then it gets a little difficult. But then that's the conversation, the memberships, and then and obviously memberships. And when you cannot make that patient a member, reactivation is really important because I mean everybody's we all fighting for the new patient. We all fighting for the new patient. But I mean, you know, and myself, I used to do it all the time, and I still do it, right? But I understand that I have such an incredible opportunity with the data that I had, because I've been in this office since 2007 and then way before in another location. So we have so many patients that we need to retouch. And so how can we make sure that they either they open our email, they receive our text, they see us in social media, we do events that they may be welcome to. So a combination of things so we can, you know, find them where they wanted to be found. And then reactivation is the easiest way to bring revenue. The patient already been
And when
there.
you say by reactivation, you're talking about texting not only your patient database, but people that are leads, right? And
Yeah.
emailing them your
Yeah.
newsletter. So remarketing, internal marketing, because
Yeah.
statistically, less than 30% of your patient population really know about all the services that you actually have, because they weren't open yet to receive it, because maybe they didn't need it. And we grow older every day, every year, right? We have vacations coming up and life changes and job changes. So now maybe they are open to what you're offering. So we have to stay in front of them.
Absolutely.
And you know that more than ever, that when you get consistent new patients with consistent rebooking and increasing average spend and number of visits per year, that's how you truly measure growth, not just focusing on new patients, but getting off that hamster wheel and focusing just as much on your current patients as getting new patients.
Yeah. It's incredible if you increase only $50, just $50 more to a patient visit, the accumulation on the year could impact even $1 million. Just $50 every time. Your price, you know, they say that your patients, every time they come to you, your average sales is $500. So if the $500 goes to $550, the amount is unbelievable. You do the math. It's incredible. And how can you do that? You can add a product. You can add something at the same time. It has to be at the same time, because if not, everything changes. It's productivity, right? I have the same 20 minutes to do something, but I adding a service that can be done at the same time, or I'm selling a product that increases my revenue just by selling a product in that moment, right? So there's several things that really can do that and impact tremendously. But for that, you know, sometimes the providers, in order to make them productive, you have to have them help. Because I go to a lot of practices where they don't have medical assistants, they don't have help at all. They have to do it all. They have to take pictures, they have to talk to the patient, they have to treat them, they have to clean them, they have to turn out the room. Well, you know, obviously those visits, instead of being a 20 minutes visit, is a 45 minutes or an hour visit. So if you think about it, whatever you bring in an hour, if you have someone who can help you, guess what? It's double, right? Because now you're taking 30 minutes. So I think that's another thing that is important, but I understand that if you pay your provider, I don't know, for example, $100,000 a year, and then you pay a $55,000 medical assistant, look what you're doing, right? I mean, you have to understand that what you're doing too. So obviously when you do the math, that number that you bring in revenue out of that provider have to make sure that it's include that medical assistant salary, right? So then it makes sense. So, but it definitely for us, it really does make sense. And it really helps with productivity. So that's something that have been able for 3 providers. We have the doctor and 2 PAs. And they're very productive in that matter. We do also have 2 bodies, Cauffman, full sculpting and MSCO. But I mean, really the big bulk of everything are the injectors, right?
Yeah. So before you would ever hire another provider, right, you would make sure that, like, if you're someone that is a solopreneur, right, before you go hire another full-time provider, you would recommend hiring a medical assistant and fully tapping out a provider prior to hiring another $100,000 plus employee member, is what I just
Absolutely,
gathered
because
from you.
imagine if you pay, I'm just gonna say example, right? You pay $100,000 for a
Yeah.
provider, are you gonna hire another $100,000, or you pay a medical assistant to improve that productivity? And you don't hire any other provider until you are to 85% productivity. So it's like the hours that you have and the hours that you sell. 85 is the sweet number. So when you start looking to hire another provider, but like I say, before you're supposed to hire the price per, the revenue you bring per hour, and then you can actually minimize those templates of your appointment. So if you use a half an hour to do a neurotoxin, can you do 20 minutes? Can you do it in 20 minutes? Yeah. If you do a filler procedure in 45 minutes, how can you make that provider more productive to do it in 30 minutes? Or,
Yes.
have a conversation with that provider is, how can I help you? So you can, and I mean, and everybody wins, right? The provider, the company, everybody is just, and then even the patient, who has a patient want to be there for an hour when I can be there for 30 minutes? We all want, take care of our time, right? I guess.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, guys, to be conscious of everyone's time, this is so good. I can talk to you forever, Mayte. I would love now to start taking questions. So if you have any questions, make sure that you add them into the chat in the comments, and we'll make sure that if we don't get them live on this call, that we'll get them answered in the comment section back to you. But just to recap, as questions are starting to come in, some of the big takeaways that I heard that really helped catapult you to that $5 million a year mark is, of course, secret shopping, but not just like any secret shopping, right? Where you just schedule an appointment and go. You're calling them on the phone, you're messaging them from social media, you're scheduling online, you're paying attention to how you're being treated at the front desk and reception, their forms, their paperwork. You might buy skincare product. You'll do a consultation, you maybe get a hydrofacial or buy something from them. You coordinate with your reps to find the best practices that are at your level or doing better than you, to learn from them. And then you begin collaborating and sharing with those practices after the fact, right? So that's what I heard and took away from your secret shopper experience. And then the second part is really focusing on your rebooking and your combination treatment plans, right? Not just a la carte half services. I also heard that you're a big driver of your membership to make it easy for patients to schedule for you, and no brainer, and financing and all of that for your high ticket services. So you make it really easy for them. And then for your providers, right? You make their life so much easier to do higher volumes by having that medical assistant. It's just, so many just little things when combined has really helped get you to be that $5 million plus a year Medspa, and it's just amazing. So I want to get to a couple questions here. So Mayte, do you always go with your staff, or do you send your staff separately from you sometimes to do the secret shopper experience?
I try to do that when I already went with them first, because you have to guide them about what to look in order to be, and to tell you the truth, we normally take advantage when we go to conferences. So let's say that I'm going to a conference at the Spa or whatever to Vegas. I can mystery shop someone in Vegas. So why not?
Yeah.
We already got the fly, we already got the hotel, we're already in a group. And if I go, I love to do it. So I will go. And then maybe sometimes we divide and conquer. You go see this, you go see that. It really depends. If I tried I always try to do it myself because I just love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I get real excited when clients hire me to come out and do a secret shopper experience. It's one of my favorite parts of my job. Okay, next question. If you were a new med spa starting completely over again, Mayte, today, and you're eagerly, wanting to make a profit because you know how expensive it is to get started and launched, what would you really do and focus on if you were a new med spa right now to grow your practice?
Oh my God. I think when I started it, I wanted to do it all by myself with not that much knowledge, I guess, because maybe I felt that I couldn't afford a coach, but I think a coach is incredibly important. I think it's better to invest in someone that can actually help you come out with those numbers, because we need to know our numbers. It's a incredibly important thing. We need to know how our productivity is. We need to know what's the profit of every single service that we provide. Exactly the profit I'm talking about, including the time of the provider, including the overhead, including the consumables, how to negotiate better contracts with your, vendors. It's just such a combination of things that is pretty much impossible to know. And it takes years of experience and a lot of mistakes. But if you get a coach that already knows and works with med spas, I have one right now that check my numbers, check my bookkeeping, check my QuickBooks, get me accountable that my budget is on time, like what I say that I'm going to do is going to happen. And that has really, right now, been incredible for me. I cannot imagine if I had him 20 years ago.
And that's how we met, Mayte. He introduced us.
What?
I said, and that's how we met. He introduced us, remember?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I met you because he recommended me you. And that's the thing, he works with old med spas and everybody talk really highly about you. And I said, you should talk to Diamond Accelerator because I work with several med spas and everybody says that they're great, that their ROI is incredible. And I go, okay, I want to know this lady. I was like, who is, because I really didn't have a lot of luck with that. I think I felt that I've been spending a lot of money and wasting a lot of money because they were not really helping me the right way until I find you and your company, Julie, everybody. But definitely, as you have taught me a lot, and I'm really grateful for that.
Well, likewise, you teach us as well, Mayte. So thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you so much for those of you that showed up live. If you didn't still and you're catching the replay, go ahead and list your questions, because what a gem that we were lucky enough to have Mayte be so open and transparent and share some of her secret sauce. So thank you, Mayte, again so much. And I just really acknowledge and honor your hard work and efforts and you investing into your team. And one of my favorite things is anytime we do a new campaign, it's not just like about the offer, right? We're like deep diving, dissecting how that offer then transcends into the consultation process to educate and actually get the patient to make a commitment to that transformational treatment plan. So you're one of my faves. You do it the right way, and it's so much fun to work with you and your team. So thank you.
Thank you. Same as with you.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
We'll see you next week here.